Hey, it's Coach Nick Tumminello. I have the pleasure of coming to you standing next to my very good friend, the glute guy, Bret Contreras. Bret, thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Bret has been nice enough to take some time out of his day to show us his glute bridge progression. A lot of people know some of these exercises, but you're not going to find someone who has more knowledge about the techniques, the safest and most effective ways to train the glutes than this guy. So Bret, I'm going to turn it over to you and show us what you got.
Okay. So most people are familiar with the basic glute bridge. You just pop the hips up from a supine position.
You have your toes up.
And now you can plant through the whole foot or, dorsiflex the feet. It doesn't really matter. Some people like it this way. Some people, you just want to make sure you're pushing through the heel. Either way is fine. But when you progress that, the most common progression you see by the trainers is to elevate the feet. Now, this progression, like this, increases hamstring activation. It decreases glute activation. So I'm working more hamstring and less glute this way. So this is a good variation to use if you want to focus more tension on the hamstring. However, if you want to focus more tension on the glutes, you would do the opposite. You would elevate your shoulders. And this is going to actually increase glute and quadricep activation. So you just can use a couch or a bench and just extend the hips. You don't want to extend the lumbar spine. So you don't want to see any overarching here. You want the hips to be doing the extending, not the low back. So keep the core tight and make most of the movement all at the hips. And then the last variation I want to show you is kind of the most challenging version, which would be to elevate both. So this variation, I'm going to elevate my feet and my shoulders. Now the one thing, you can use two benches or you can use a situation like this, but you don't want them to be able to slide apart. So make sure they are both secured to the ground.
Hopefully you're not usually getting your workout here in the convention center lobby. So.
Right. And there's two different ways to do this. I can do them with my heels up here or here. I'll show you both ways. So here is the shoulder and feet elevated version. So
how much weight do you take?
The other one would be to have your heels planted like this. So like that. So I'm kind of sliding here, but I hope you get an idea. So there are 4 different variations. The same different variations could actually be used for single leg progressions as well.
What's the difference between having your feet against the table and on the table?
It doesn't really matter in terms of activation. It comes down more to preference.
The hamstring don't turn on more with the heels up there?
I didn't find much difference. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Bret has given you some very valuable tools. What I learned from him is I used to do all with the foot elevated and basically the foot higher than the torso. And then when he told me that was much more hamstring dominant, that was kind of reflective of what my clients, where they would get sore and the feedback that they gave me. So now we do one day with the foot higher than the torso, and the other day we do torso higher than the foot. And after we played around with 3 to 6 weeks of that, then the progression is everybody goes to the foot and torso elevated version. So anything else you want to add?
That's all.
I appreciate your time, man.
Thanks
Where can everybody check out more of what you got?
I have a blog at BretContreras.wordpress.com.
You also have a book.
Yeah, I have a book on the glute that can be found at thegluteguy.com.
Bret's one of the most humble guys I know, so I know he didn't want to push his stuff, but he has some of the most amazing information that you can get. So I highly suggest you check out his blog. It's going to be some of the best information that you can read, and definitely get your hand on this book.